This type of Yankee architecture home.
There's something very New England about driving along a winding road and spotting one sitting in an open field. No matter what shape it's in, there is a beauty, a charm to an old wooden barn. The love of these rustic landmarks runs deep in these parts, so much so that here in the Granite State, some have chosen to make the roof over their heads resemble one of these marvels of Yankee ingenuity.
There's just something comfortable about a barn, and it's hard to describe. And the way this company started is the founder, Emil Hanslin, actually went through New England and measured the barns, and things like the roof pitch and typical sizes and so forth. And that's how we started building these things.
Yankee Barn Homes, based in Grantham, New Hampshire, has been constructing home sweet homes like this one since 1969. Senior project manager Bob Mahoney took us on a tour of the company's model to show us what has drawn people to the barn look for decades.
This is wide open, and this is very typical of a Yankee barn. The great room with the big open cathedral ceiling, the wall of glass, which hopefully is going to take advantage of some views, or in this case it's just southern exposure, so we get a whole lot of solar gain coming in there.
You feel like you're in a barn.
You really do. You really do, with the open and the beams coming across. This is kind of a unique feature because it's really more like a 2.5-story house, and we call this the attic, but it's a functional living space, and children just absolutely love it. Anytime people are staying here, you'll find the kids up there playing, and it's kind of like the treehouse concept.
You know the old expression, can you shut the door? What, do you live in a barn? Well, the Zellmans actually do. Jean and Bill built their barn home in 2004 and fell in love with the way that it's able to bring the outside in.
It's a very warm feel, natural, particularly up here in the woods. It blends with the woods. It's very pretty now, and it's also very pretty in the winter. If you live in New Hampshire, you want to enjoy the winter too.
In the winter after a snowstorm, it's just beautiful with all the snow piled on the evergreens.
If you're interested in barn living and building one of these of your very own, listen to this. The company actually allows you to try out the model home for a night, free of charge. You can actually stay overnight, is that right?
Yes, absolutely. We encourage potential customers to come up and spend the night here and treat it as if it was their own home. Yeah, when people stay here, the house is theirs. They get a key, and nobody even bothers them until the next morning when I'll come over and answer questions.
Though they're built to have the look and feel of a barn, drafty they're not.
The reality is these homes are extremely energy efficient because of the way we build them and insulate them and so forth. So you're not living in a barn in that sense.
The homes are prefabricated. The entire timber frame is pre-cut and then goes together like a giant puzzle in less than 2 weeks. The manager of the construction plant is Charles Wood.
I personally love wood, it's the last name, but seeing the timber frame, it just shows the strength of what it is. We actually started off with reclaiming and recycling timbers from old mills and old barns, and we've been green before green was popular, as well as we have the recycled content of our insulation is very high, so that's another green aspect.
You'll find these homes on the Emerald Isle. There are 2 in Ireland, and one is going to be shipped out and sent down under to Australia.
It's going to be put into a whole bunch of containers, and 10 containers in all. It'll be packed up, it'll be shipped all in one ship, and then it'll be unloaded there, brought to the site. We'll send a site supervisor, and it'll be easy from there.
Steve Manning says he's never worked for a company that constantly receives fan mail in the form of pictures and letters from homeowners.
They'll tell me how much they love it and how everybody that comes in here loves it, you know, and then they want some parts. They want original parts for the Yankee barn. You know, like it's like an antique car or something. They just want the original stuff, and we still have it.
Designing these barn homes is made simple by just playing with these blocks in different combinations.
We play with blocks, and a lot of time I'll come over here and the customers will have the blocks out on the rug and they've already been playing with them. But it helps people visualize what it's going to look like. The walls, interior walls, are not supporting anything. So if you wanted to knock that wall down and modify it, you just knock it down.
It's very unique, very unique. And when you have a Yankee barn in your neighborhood, you're going to be recognized as having a very unique home. It's very recognizable that, hey, that's a Yankee barn. You can, once you know it, you drive down the road and you can see, you know, hey, that's a Yankee barn right there. So it's kind of part of a little club.
A lot of people like the barn look, and it's supposed to represent taking an old building and turning it into your home.